and I told the Destiny community about this dumb bitch before.
Why have you put IRI? This is IRI.
I don't really see any value in talking to her. She's really, really a sick person. Like, who talks like this? Whites, blacks. It's so weird.
No. This is pure cope. This is total bull. What about gay?
Listen, I'm not interested in you at TreeOfLogic. I'm not interested. You're not my type. I like intelligent women. You're not my type, okay? What's up, Chud? Yeah, I'm trashing your Nubian queen, TreeOfLogic. She sucks, dude.
The other day, I hosted a ad hoc panel about the Scott Adams comments, okay? Now, just to paraphrase, I'll give you my quick take on it. Personally, I think that Scott Adams is an idiot that has misread and misrepresented the results of a poll to come to absolutely insane prescriptions about what we should do with regards to racial tensions, okay? That's my basic take on it. However, I do think that at the core of his commentary, there are some things worth taking away. Like, for example, he was talking about how media stokes racial tension. I think that's true, and I think that's a reasonable point, right? Does that mean that white people should get away from black people? Well, no, I don't think so, right? This is also in the background, and, one thing I'm noticing on Twitter is that it seems like there's tons and tons of footage of, like, black on white violence, I've seen loads of it. I've seen loads of it all over the place. Now, there's two reasons that could be. One is that there has actually been an increase in these kind of incidences, okay? Now, I don't have the data to hand. I was sent a graph which demonstrated, a slight uptick in race-based violence between white and black people, right? And it was only up until like a few years ago, so I don't know how good that information is now, right? But I would say there could well be, I'd be willing to accept that there's probably some sort of increase in racial tension, which would lead, was particularly around like some of the discourse and stuff that's happened over the last years, that could potentially lead to interracial violence, okay? But I don't know if there's, I'd need to see. I'm skeptical that there's a significant enough increase to justify all of the extra material on Twitter. So I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But for some reason that I don't think is just because all of a sudden all these black people are beating up white people, all of a sudden I'm seeing, all of these videos on Twitter. Don't exactly know what that is. But I wonder if like that is maybe influencing Scott Adams' perception, because based on his analysis of this poll, he clearly isn't very good at separating, what is a fact from like what is information or media that's like influencing me in a certain way. My camera's out of sync and I don't know why. So yeah, that's my basic take on it anyway. Scott Adams is a bit of an idiot, okay? He said some really dumb shit. I can understand why people think he's a giga racist, okay? I think that, you could probably have a bit of charity towards him, and there's probably some stuff in there where he's been a bit more reasonable, but he's coming to these like insane hysterical conclusions about things off of misunderstandings, right? Now, I hosted a panel on this, and I just expected it to be a little panel. We got a few people on. It was, pretty decent. Anyway, we spoke about it, and IRI was popping off. He was saying all sorts of stuff, right? And now, TreeOfLogic got wind of some of the stuff that he was saying on the panel, and she had this to say about it. The self-hating white boy in the bottom center is lefty Twitch streamer ImReallyImportant, who believes that racism against whites is not a thing, and that blacks attacking whites unprovoked is also not a thing. Dear white people, until you deal with POSs like this from your own race, you'll never see progress in race relations. These are the idiots who pretend it's not happening. And then this is the clip.
Dismiss anti-white racism when it's coming from black and brown people. They pretend it's not a real thing, or they pretend, oh, these white people are just fragile, or these white people are just, they can handle a little bit of pushback, a little bit of racism. It's fine, right? It's dismissed. It's not a big fucking deal because it's coming from the victims, quote unquote.
What is the racism? Some harsh words once in a while? I don't understand. While others live under systemic racism. Oh,
being
really?
beat up in the street.
Beat up in the
people being
street? Is there
shot.
some sort of
Yeah.
really?
No,
Is there? Are
come
you
on.
kidding me? Are you kidding me?
No, I'm
You're
not
telling
kidding
me
you.
that there is some.
Maybe
You're telling me there's some scourge of white people being punched in the face randomly in the street? Are you kidding me? Where?
Did you
Where is
forget
any
the
of this
knockout thing?
happening?
Welcome to
I
Chud
don't
Hold
know.
on.
I don't know if
That
it's
is absolutely
Fuck you too
true.
much
Hold on.
not to
To
give
be
you money.
super clear,
You're
like,
falling
what-
victim to the
white
same
people-
bullshit that Scott
white
Adams
people-
is, just
white
watching
people-
videos
stop.
online.
No, listen.
It's
White
the same
people-
bullshit about drag shows in
No,
every
you're not doing
community,
the thing.
every school,
You
every
gotta listen.
library. It's
You gotta listen,
nonsense.
please. White people are absolutely the victims of hate crimes. You agree with this, right?
Oh, wow.
Racial hate
Okay,
crimes.
who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares that white people are the victims of hate crimes? It's fine because it's happening to a white person. Is this really your position?
Dude,
No,
what's the point you're
it's-
trying to make? Just because white people are the
Dude,
victim of
my
hate
point is
crimes,
that
suddenly
racism is
everything
bad.
you just throw it off?
Racism is
Yeah,
bad no matter
racism
who
is
it's
bad.
directed
Fucking
at.
stupid, man.
Obviously, right?
This is
So
so
I
Even
don't
stupid.
think-
even
I
the
don't think
poll said like
what are they
70%.
So anyway, that was IRI's that was IRI's take, which I thought was pretty funny. But obviously, you know, I can understand watching that. You're going to be afraid because obviously the way it's put there, it sounds like IRI is like saying that white hate crimes are happening. Who cares? I mean, that's literally what was said. Anyway, Tina Peel, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. So here's the thing, okay? I would argue that if you were to watch the full panel, it's probably going to give you a bit more context to maybe see IRI's position on it a bit more charitably, right? That being said, I think that IRI's kind of arguments and stuff in the panel like weren't that great, and I think it's easily put that he's going to come across kind of badly in the way that he's talking about it, right? Like I say, knowing IRI, I personally would put that and attribute that more so to like wanting to be spicy for the panel, rather than being like truly reflective of his exact position on things, right? But I appreciate if you don't want to engage in that sort of level of charity, I totally understand that. If you want to think he's like an anti-white racist guy or whatever, then more power to you, okay? But that's just my view on what was said, right? Obviously, TreeOfLogic is getting the boot in. TreeOfLogic is getting the boot in. And honestly, I should have brought TreeOfLogic on thinking about this. I need to connect with TreeOfLogic to be able to bring her on to stuff like this. Anyway, that was kind of his, you know, his take, if you like. And then what happened? Well, I'm imagining that TreeOfLogic went and did a little bit of digging and found some other information about something that happened recently. Because IRI actually went on the Adam and Sit show. IRI went on the Adam and Sit show. Oh, it's only clips. It's for the coming on panels. Maybe I can't do that if she's banned, but watching clips is fine. But yeah, for the panels, that's no good. So IRI went to Adam and Sitch, and obviously IRI is the typical libcuck kind of guy. And apparently he upset some of the audience over at Adam and Sitch. Anyway, TreeOfLogic found this clip and shared it, okay? Don't you all love it when white people like ImReallyImportant can sit safely in their homes, located in the lily white suburbs of LA, and brag about how they could live in the hood without getting their ass beat? This fool thinks he's the whisperer. Yeah, you know? You get it? You get it, right? You get it, right? I dare him to live stream himself walking in the hood of South Central alone. Let's put his theory to a test. Let's play the clip.
Go ahead.
Well, I agree with that part.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, people don't attack people in their own community.
Yeah, that's
This
true
is why
too.
you can live
Yeah.
in any. I could go live in South Central and in some, you know, in the middle in the hood. I could live there, and people would be chill. It's like you get to know your neighbors. They see you. Like, people don't start trouble in their own neighborhood. That's why his whole point is just so cringe and hard to understand. Like,
I mean,
you can live anywhere.
mhm.
It's
Maybe
true.
that's
People
true.
go to
Well-
other
well,
people's
wait,
neighborhood to raise hell.
Wait,
That's
wait.
what happens. Yeah.
Maybe, wait.
Go ahead.
Well, I agree with that part.
Well, I was just gonna
I
say.
mean, I think it's undeniable that there are some areas that have got high rates of crime, okay? And some of that crime will be coming from within the community. And if you move into an area that suffers with high crime, you're more likely to be the victim of crime. So, I think this is a bit of a reductive take. I think broadly in most communities that would probably be true, right? Like if there was a I know what people in chat are going to say. If there was an area that had predominantly black people in that didn't have an issue with crime, right? Let's see if see if that gets any response from the racials in chat. Okay. Let's say that if you moved into an area that had predominantly black people that didn't have an issue with crime, you probably wouldn't have a problem living there, right? Okay. The problem that you've got is that there are some areas that suffer with crime. Statistically, and crime is rooted in poverty much of the time. And obviously there's a correlation with poverty and race that can affect it. But I would say that if you were to look at a poor community, right? If you were to look at poor communities, moving into a poor community would probably put you at a higher risk of crime. It's not necessarily linked to race, it's linked to class, poverty, etc., right? For example, if you look at, say, Eastern European countries, and the poor areas of Eastern European countries, they're absolutely rife with crime, and they're not black. In fact, they're very racist over there. They're very racist themselves over there, Pickpockets, yeah, exactly. Yep. So, I think that it's very reductive to say you could move to this community. If a community has got high levels of crime, okay, Eastern Europe is way safer than Western Europe. That is absolute fucking cope. That is the biggest cope I've ever heard in my life. What are you on about? That is fucking insanity. Crime rates are far higher in the average Eastern European country versus a Western European country. What planet are you on? Anyway, moving on. Okay, so obviously not really an agreement with IRI's perspective necessarily, but I know IRI. Obviously, I'm friends with the guy. I am biased. He is very much a kind of hey guys, yeah, we all need to get on and move forward and all this shit, blah, blah, blah. I don't see him as this giga anti-white racist guy. But nonetheless, that is what he stands accused of, okay? So, Tree shared these clips. He responded to it on stream. We're going to have a listen to what his response was. We're going to see what he's got to say about it all. This is his response.
What was that
yesterday.
video on your Twitter? Was that a VTuber of Jar Jar Binks? Huh? Was that meant for my channel? I don't understand.
He's talking about Doobie.
Oh, you're talking about the frog on the panel from the clip. Is that what you're talking about? I heard you was anti-white. I am. I hate white people. I hate my own people.
Oh, on that note,
let's take a look.
On that note, guys, whatever you do not click on the hidden replies. Do not click on the hidden replies under TreeOfLogic's tweet. Whatever you do.
Doobie. Yep. Doobie doesn't show his face, so he uses an avatar. Lizard. I think it's a frog. Okay, so I didn't even see this, but this got posted 2 days ago now. Well, a day ago. Like a day and a half ago. I didn't even see it until somebody, Sitch from Adam and Sitch, tagged me and said, why'd you do this? So, look, this is TreeOfLogic. I've made fun of her on the stream before. Ooh. And I told the Destiny community about this dumb bitch before. She is broken in the head. I've said this many times, and for some reason Destiny's community's in love with her because she tricked them to think that she's cool and edgy, and she gets along with Destiny, but she's just another person who comes and kisses Destiny's ass when they get in front of him because they want to appeal to his audience, but then they run their mouths outside of there. That's all it is. And so this moron has had her eyes on me for a while, absolutely in love with me. I had some bad interactions with her out of the blue years ago, like 2 years ago. I had my own panel that I ran, and her and I were friendly. We would exchange DMs. She came on my panel a couple times. We were good. And then one day she just lost her mind thinking that I was being mean to Lecture Fan or something. Lecture Fan, who I'm friends with. And she just lost it. And I said, I don't know what happened to you. You hit your head or something, but you are crazy. And ever since then, I just make fun of her. But I set her off with this appearance on Chud's panel. And then she went back and saw my appearance on Sitch and Adam and got even more upset. So I think mission accomplished. If I can upset morons like TreeOfLogic, then I'm doing well. But I hope people in DGG can see this and realize what a dumb fuck she is. And
I'm going to be honest. It's interesting, right? Okay, what? Hang on a sec. Why have you put IRI's... This is IRI. Why have you put his face on his own face? It doesn't make any sense. That is IRI. That's like pointless. And then TreeOfLogic's on the faces of the back. Oh, IRIception. Is this a Roy job? Is this a Roy special? Is this a Roy special? Typical. This is a certified Roy Royce Hood classic. Roy Royce has become a key visual media propagandist in Chud Nation. It must be said. I should VIP them. Yeah, I should VIP them, shouldn't I? It's only right. Let's be honest. It's only right. Listen, I got to be honest with you here. Okay, I don't like this kind of like, well, I've upset this person by saying something pretty stupid. I don't know. Great. I mean, you know, it's if you do dumb shit, it is easy to upset people. It's difficult for me because I appreciate him coming on and saying a bunch of unhinged shit to make the panel spicy. But like, it's going to come across badly if it gets clipped. But then I wouldn't, you know, if IRI said to me like, hey man, do you want me to be chill and like make just calm arguments? I'd be like, no, come on and just say you hate white people. Based. But then this is the thanks he gets.
And stop standing her. I mean, I shouldn't say that. You want to stand her, you think she's funny, you think she's based, that's fine. Do whatever you want. But I mean, she's a nut job. She's a weirdo. But it's crazy because when I went on, last time I talked to Destiny, I brought up the fact that Tree sucks. And he was taken aback. He was like, what? And the audience was kind of like, they hadn't heard anybody push back on TreeOfLogic. So I don't know what sort of game she's been playing over there, what sort of front she's been putting on. She's been on her best behavior or something when she's gone on Destiny's channel, because everybody was like, she's base. And I was just like, what are you guys talking about? So hopefully they see now that she is just completely nuts. I mean, wait.
See, it's interesting, right? Because I thought that like Destiny's community say would be like, oh yeah, you know, she's so based for this. But I remember the thread about this. People were actually a bit more critical of TreeOfLogic and more supportive of IRI than they thought we were going to be. But my personal perspective is, yeah, it's a bad look, isn't it? Welcome, it's a bad look. Hey, thank you for the Prime sub. It's a bad look because obviously, you know, you're saying I don't care about like in principle the idea of a white person being a victim of a hate crime. But the thing is the reason people like TreeOfLogic is because exactly she's like crazy, she's nuts, she's a bit schizo, you know, and she's like, if you're very forthright in your opinions and very to the point and matter of fact, even in the face of like being wrong about something, people are going to think you're based. That's the secret.
Wait till I show you all the things. This is not just one tweet. She responded to like every comment that somebody posted and was just raging. And she's racist as fuck. Wait till you see some of the things she said.
Yeah, she's content. Exactly. She's content.
Damn, that would be content if you debated her. I wouldn't. I don't know if I would debate her. I don't even know. I don't really see any value in talking to her. She's really, really a sick person. She needs help.
Jesus Christ. She's sick and needs help.
She comes on to shit on people Destiny's fighting with, so DGG likes her. Yeah, I get that. I get that. She loves attacking the soy and this SJWs and stuff. But I think, you know, coming after me, that's going to give people second thought over in that community, I would think, because Destiny and I are cool. And so it's just kind of weird to like for her to go so crazy. Everyone in DGG understands she's unhinged. Fair enough. I just, like I said, when I was talking to Destiny, I was like, TreeOfLogic sucks. Everybody was taken aback. Like, nobody had said anything like that in a while. And I was like, what do you guys mean? She's insane. So I'll take your word for it.
Well,
that being said,
let's have a little look at this. So this is the Reddit post. I just found it there. Tree is teeing off on IRI with the tweet there. The hood, he's pretty fly for a white guy. I love how the idea is that any place that has a large number of black people becomes so extremely dangerous that merely walking through the area becomes a test for the veracity of political views. Curious. A lot of these comments are like I say, somebody needs to link this to Tree to alleviate her concerns. Okay. What the fuck is she talking about? Yes, it's possible for a white person to live and walk the streets of the hoods without getting their ass beat. Most hoods are boring places most of the time. It's not fucking gang fights and beatings 24/7. So, you know, the subreddit was actually a bit more supportive of IRI than anything else. So whether that's indicative of the culture of the Reddit or something else, I'm not sure. But anyway, you get the idea.
Play this clip. Well, let me just show you guys, read the tweet first, okay? Because this is hilarious. This whole thing is so funny to me. Like, I have a unique ability to piss off people on the right and the left. And I love it. That's how you succeed as a streamer. You succeed by cultivating outrage, by getting people, like, you have to dance up against the line of cringe and outrageous for people to not resist saying something. You have to do things and say things that people can't resist replying to. And that's part of the game. I feel like this for me right here is a little bit of like Hassan saying America deserved 9/11. That's what's happening right here a little bit. And I'll show you, like, these people are just losing their mind over this clip. And I tell you guys all the time, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to go hot. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to piss off the righties. I'm going to say things that get them to have to respond to me, because that's how you go on these panels. You don't go on these panels and have a boring ass conversation. This panel would have sucked if I didn't go on there. Everybody knows it. This panel would have been boring resident sleeper if I didn't show up. What? They want to hear Brianna talk about her political campaign experience? They want to hear Doobie argue with people that nobody knows? I made this panel interesting.
True.
They should be thanking me. Okay, anyways. This is what TreeOfLogic...
This is the point I was trying to make earlier as well, right? Like, he is right about this. The panel would have been a bit boring if he wasn't on there saying unhinged shit.
Bro, and if anybody doesn't know who TreeOfLogic is, she is some rightoid who's been banned everywhere. She is like an ex-cop, unhinged, weirdo. I don't think you need to know much more about her. It'll be the only thing people take from it. Yeah, pretty sure DGD would side more with her than you with your panel clip.
So you're boring. I like to do ad hoc panels normally because I like to tap into the spice of the conversation that's happening at that exact moment. So, you know, the other day I was speaking about Scott Adams and Doobie had a hot take, but I was in the middle of covering it and he couldn't come on anyway. So I kind of arranged to do it on Thursday. But then when you do it on Thursday, you've lost a bit of the energy and stuff, you know? So it's good that IRI was there, because otherwise it probably would have been a bit more of a kind of like good faith, like straight up discussion about ideas or something. So yeah, I mean, pre-planned panels, I'm not really like a big fan of these days. They're kind of a bit dull, I feel.
Not based on the Reddit thread that I saw. Seems like people are pretty on board with me. So look, she wrote, the self-hating white boy in the bottom center is lefty Twitch streamer I'm Really Important. And she puts my name in quotes, I'm really important. These guys don't get the joke, right? Like, It's just right off the bat, you're losing. You're taking an L because you're pointing out my name. I'm really important. It's a joke. The fact that these guys don't get that is just laughable to me. Like,
is she saying
they think
that, though?
I'm serious, that I believe.
Wait, is she okay? I feel like IRI is sorting out a bit here. I'm not sure if she's referencing that. I think she's just saying his name, isn't she?
I'm really important, so I need everybody to know how important I am. It's a total joke. The humor is completely lost on these people. This is how out of touch with reality they are. She says, I'm really important, who believes that racism against whites is not a thing, and that blacks attacking whites unproved is also not a thing. She meant unprovoked. She changed that. Like, who talks like this? Whites, blacks. It's so weird. When did I ever say that racism against whites is not a thing? I never said that. I don't even say that in the clip. Then she says, dear white people. And that to me right off the bat is just hilarious. Dear white people. Who are you talking to? Dear white people. Can you imagine anyone saying that in sincerity? That is so cringe. What are you, penning a letter to the white race? Now listen to this though. Dear white people, until you deal with pieces of shit like this from your own race, you'll never see progress in race relations. These are the idiots who pretend it's not happening. Are you kidding me? I am white people. What do you want us to have a meeting? You want white people to come talk to me? I am white people. It's so funny to me. Like, how racist is that? Like, that right there is racist. Deal with pieces of shit from your own race. What? Talk about racist. Chill. What a weirdo, man. Listen, motherfucker. I am white people. I'm white. I'm white. Nobody's going to deal with me. I'm going to deal with people. I'm white.
Oh, yeah. I know Sick got like super mad with IRI. Dumb take given everyone who disagrees with you is white.
Get over it. Too funny, man. Who's gonna deal with me? Who's gonna come deal with me? My fellow whites? You want to have a meeting, white people? You want to talk to me? Fuck out of here. Too funny, man. Okay. I'm sure the whites will deal with me soon and have a strict, they'll have a dressing down of me. We're going to have a talk with him, Tree. Listen, Tree. The whites are going to get together and we're going to deal with this. We're going to talk to this. Yeah, I'll set up the Zoom meeting. Thank you. Soon, we will have a meeting amongst the whites and they will set me straight. Listen, I'm really important. You're giving us whites a bad name. We can't act like this. We can't act like this. Our race is being damaged here. How cringe. Dear white people. Who says that with sincerity? Can you imagine if I went on Twitter and I wrote, dear black people? Can you imagine if I penned a letter to what black people should do on Twitter? But how does this racist fuck get away with that? And nobody even bats an eye. Nobody bats an eye. I'm the racist one. I'm the racist one. Look, we will discuss this.
Look, at the end of the day, right, I've made my thoughts clear about exactly what you said. This is just funny, though. That if you're saying this isn't funny, you're coping. This is like IRI. Honestly, IRI is actually really good at entertaining when it comes to dealing with drama and stuff online.
It's at the next white council meeting. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the clip that upset her so bad.
Let's see what he says now.
Dismiss anti-white racism when it's coming from black and brown people. They pretend it's not a real thing, or they pretend, oh, these white people are just fragile, or these white people are just, they can handle a little bit of pushback, a little bit of racism. It's fine, right? It's dismissed. It's not a big fucking deal because it's coming from the victims, quote unquote.
What is the racism? Some harsh words once in a while? I don't understand. While others live under systemic racism. Oh, really? Beat up in the street? Is there some sort of... Yeah. Really? Is there... Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
No,
you're telling me that there is some... You're telling me there's some scourge of white people being punched in the face randomly in the street? Are you kidding me? Where is any of this happening?
Wait, hold on.
I don't know if
That
it's
is absolutely true. Hold on. To be super clear,
You're
like,
falling victim to the
white
same
people-
bullshit that Scott Adams is. Just
white
watching
people-
videos
stop.
online.
No, listen.
It's
White
the same
people-
bullshit about drag shows in
No,
every
you're not
community,
doing this.
every school,
You gotta
every
listen.
library. It's
You gotta listen,
nonsense.
please. White people are absolutely the victims of hate crimes. You agree with this, right?
Oh, wow.
Racial hate
Okay,
crimes.
who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares that white people are the victims of hate crimes? It's fine because it's happening to a white person. Is this really your position?
Dude,
No,
what's the point you're trying to make? Just because white people are the
Dude,
victim of
it's-
hate crimes,
it's-
suddenly
it's-
everything you
exactly.
just throw it off.
Racism is
Yeah,
bad, no matter
racism
who
is
it's
bad.
directed
Fucking
at.
stupid, man.
Obviously, right?
This is
So
so
I-
stupid.
Even the poll said like
What are they gonna
70%.
Okay,
It's so
I
funny.
stand by every single thing in this video. I have no regrets about anything in this video. Anything
Oh
at
my
all that I
God.
said here. Let's break it down. Let's go over this. Let's break
Unreal.
this down.
Doubling down.
Anti-white racism when it's coming from black and brown people. They pretend it's not a real thing, or they pretend these white people are just fragile, or these white people are just they can handle a little bit of pushback, a little bit of racism. It's fine, right? It's dismissed. It's not a big fucking deal because it's coming
What is
from
the
the victims,
racism?
quote unquote.
So listen, I asked Doobie, what is the anti-white racism that you are saying is so problematic that we need to equate it to racism against minorities? What is it? What is it? You tell me. What are white people dealing with that is such a problem in America that we need to lift it up to the point where it's where we're talking about a conversation about racism against black people, because that's what the conversation was. It was Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert, saying it's time to get away from the hate group that is black people if you're white. What justifies that? You tell me, what is going on with white people that is so bad? I'm not aware of it. He's acting like this is when Donald Trump was out there saying Kung Flu and Chinese people or Asian people were being beat up in America to the point where politicians had to come out and say, hey, guys, we shouldn't do this. Please stand down. What is happening? I'm not aware of any sort of big problem with white people being attacked in the streets. Does racism exist? Of course it exists. Against white people, yes. But that's why I'm asking him, what is this thing that's happening out there? You tell me. What is the racism? Some harsh words once in a while? I don't understand. While others
people
live
being
under
beat up in the
systemic
street.
racism. I mean, just look at the makeup of our prison population in America. On and on, right? There's tons of stats we can read off.
Maybe we should have maybe we should have a conversation about the racial statistics of prisons. Maybe we might find some interesting insights if we look at that.
I'm not going to sit here and play the role of white savior or whatever. That's not even, I have no interest in doing that at all. It's just look at the stats, man. Val Movement, thank you for the 8. The clip has 124K
Listen, all I'm going to
views.
say is I've just brought up the stats on the second monitor, and let's just say they're extremely eye-opening. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, so beyond some harsh words and some videos you've seen on Twitter, where is the problem? You tell me. Let's see.
People being
really?
beat up in the street.
Beat up in the
people being
street? Is
shot.
there people being beat up in the streets? That's what he says. That's what he said. People being beat up in the streets. What? Where is there some problem where white people can't walk the streets and are just being beat up randomly because they're white? I've never heard of anything like this. But these guys watch videos. They get hyped up like on Libs of TikTok, and they see these bad situations with no context, no explanation. They see
Minister went to Harvard. He founded
What
Harvard.
the fuck happened there? I didn't click anything. Can someone just get me the timestamp for where I was, please? Because I've lost it now. I'll answer this. So here's the thing, right? Here's the problem, okay? I agree that there are going to be places... I've been the victim of a hate crime. Well, not a hate crime, I guess. A hate speech, but that doesn't count in America, does it? It's free speech. I told you about the guy in the 7-Eleven that was talking about how superior to the white race black people are, and I was like, all right. Chill out, mate. You know, I thought he was going to stab me or something. And then obviously there's other things as well, right? Anyway, I think the issue is, right, the average white person walking around America is unlikely to experience racial violence. But here's the thing. I think that's the same for black people too. I think that's the same for black people too. Right? I think that like the average black or white person walking around America is unlikely to experience a racially motivated violent attack, right? Now, if I had to, thank you, 3033. If I had to place a bet or guess, like, it's difficult to do that because it's going to depend on the context. It's going to depend on the context, right? A black person walking around a well-to-do white area is unlikely to experience like a brutal, violent, racist attack. But if there was a black person walking around like a poor white area, maybe the chances would be higher, but like how much higher? Maybe they might get a bit of racist abuse maybe or something like that. But the reality is the actual literal amount of actual physical attacks that occur purely on the basis of race is not high enough that the average person ought to feel like they're going to get attacked walking around. Right? That's my basic position on it. So, anyone that is telling you that a black person or a white person or anyone should be in any way concerned of being, violently attacked walking around America, they're perpetuating and adding to a lot of the racial tension that exists because it doesn't bear out in the reality, So the problem with this is that to focus on one or the other is, I think, just to create a sort of impression of a danger that doesn't exist. Yeah. Wrong, here's proof. So wrong, here's proof. I can't play this on stream anyway because it's probably TOS if it's violence. You've linked me a single video from Twitter and you're playing into exactly the point that I was making earlier about the fact that people will share and perpetuate individual instances of violence to perpetuate a narrative. What you need to look at is fucking statistics. Okay, so straight away from this, okay, I've got to be honest with you. The source of this is American Renaissance. American Renaissance is a far-right magazine. And it's telling me what the source here is. I've got a pie chart that's been put together by a far-right magazine. And it's posted by Green MAGA Hat. Are you serious? The other problem you've got with this too, even if you were to take this on its face, look, race of victims attacked by whites, the majority is white. The majority here is going to be white because most people in America are white. What? So you're telling me in a country where the majority of people are white, the majority of people that are attacked are white. What a shocker. Damn. I'm convinced. Sign me up. Sign me up for the racist stuff. Any proof that the poll is wrong? Okay. I'm not saying that the poll is wrong per se, right? If the information collated is correct, the information collated is correct. The point I'm making is the following. It's being presented by American Renaissance, which I know is a far-right American magazine, okay? And even if I take it on the face of it, the majority of people attacked in all groups is white people, which makes perfect sense. Because there's more white people that exist in America. Rightoids are retarded because they can't read information. They can't read and understand information. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same as what Scott Adams did. He didn't understand the poll, said things about it that weren't true, and reached ridiculous extrapolations off the back of it. That's the issue. Anyway, I'm trying to fix my camera.
Conversation was, it was Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert, saying it's time to get away from the hate group that is black people if you're white. What justifies that? You tell me, what is going on with white people that is so bad?
Right, what's this?
I'm not aware of it. He's acting like this is when Donald Trump was out there saying Kung Flu and Chinese people or Asian people were being beat up in America to the point where politicians had to come out and say, hey, guys, we shouldn't do this. Please stand down. What is happening? I'm not aware of any sort of big problem with white people being attacked in the streets. Does racism exist? Of course it exists. Against white people, yes. But that's why I'm asking him, what is this thing that's happening out there? You tell me. What is the racism? Some harsh words once in a while? I don't understand. While others live under systemic racism. I mean, just look at the makeup of our prison population in America, on and on, right? There's tons of stats we can read off. I'm not going to sit here and play the role of white savior or whatever. That's not even, I have no interest in doing that at all. It's just look at the stats, man. Val Movement, thank you for the 8. The clip has 124K views. Yeah, so beyond some harsh words and some videos you've seen on Twitter, where is the problem? You tell me. Let's see.
Oh, really?
Beat up in the street? Is there people being beat up in the streets? That's what he says. That's what he said. People being beat up in the streets. What? Where is there some problem where white people can't walk the streets and are just being beat up randomly because they're white? I've never heard of anything like this, but these guys watch videos. They get hyped up like on Libs of TikTok, and they see these bad situations with no context, no explanation. They see some black person beating up a white guy and calling him names, and they're like, this is happening everywhere. Oh my God. Who knows what the hell the situation is? These people could have known each other for years and finally had a blowout. Could be a one-off situation. I have no clue. That's what I'm saying. You tell me.
The thing is, whilst I kind of agree with where he's coming from, there are some videos that are quite evidently, just on the context of seeing it, are going to be pretty clear as what's going on. The issue isn't that, like, they don't exist, or in some cases, like, we can't figure out what the context is. The issue is they're not necessarily indicative of a broader problem across society.
You tell me. He said people being beat up in the streets. Oh, come on. Some sort of,
yeah.
Really? Is there? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
No,
You're telling me that there is some. You're telling me there's some scourge of white people being punched in the face randomly in the street. Are you kidding me? Where? Where is any of this happening?
I don't know. I don't know if
that
it's
is absolutely true. Hold on, to be super clear.
Like, here's a question, right? Here's a
bullshit.
question. Here's another thing too, right? Let's say that you live in Texas, right? You're a white person in Texas. What are the chances of you being the victim of an unprovoked racial attack in Texas? A 100%. Are you serious? 100%. You've got to be memeing, surely. If it was 100%, every single white person that went out in town would get beaten up by a black person. That doesn't make any sense. Is every white person getting beaten the shit out of by a black person in Texas?
Won't someone please think of the white people Bible thump?
I don't even know how to deal with that, honestly.
It's Scott Adams is just watch. There's my point. The same thing that happened to Scott Adams is happening to our friend Doobie over here, where he's seeing videos online on the internet, and it's making him think something is a bigger problem than it is. And he feels even justified in equating it to a real problem, right? This is what the right does constantly. They try to elevate problems, astroturf some sort of public, huge problem, and to take away attention from real problems that exist. And he's falling.
He's nuts, but yeah, okay. I'll try and set up another panel. Okay, but who else can we bring on it? I want to make it pure content.
Victim to the same exact thing that happened to Scott Adams, who said he's sick and tired of seeing white people get beat up every day on Twitter. That's laughable to me, man. That's laughable to me. Videos online.
No, listen.
Dude, you can watch videos of anything and be convinced something's happening in America. And that's what you base your view of the world off of? Your Twitter feed? That is pathetic. It's embarrassing.
Okay,
that's why I reacted this way, because it's so embarrassing. It's so pathetic. Touch grass. Bullshit about drag shows in every community, every school, every library. It's nonsense.
Please. White people are absolutely the victims of hate crimes. You agree with this, right?
Oh, wow. Okay, who cares? Who cares? That's my point. Who cares in the context of what we're talking about? We're talking about the racism towards black people with Scott Adams. That's why I say who cares? What does anti-white racism have to do with this conversation at all? just a red herring. That's why I say, who cares? Why are you bringing this up? Did you guys know dogs are beaten every day in America? Why would you bring that up randomly in this conversation? It adds nothing of value. It's like every time you talk about women are sexually assaulted, some guy says, yeah, but men are too. It's like, okay, we get it. 99% of sexual...
Okay, yeah. Listen, I was enjoying this is starting to lose me a bit here, I've got to be honest. Okay. He should have just said, yeah, I don't care about white people getting, 5,000% whites they beat up in Texas and it doesn't matter. Giga Chad. Honestly, that would have been the better option. The thing is, like, I can understand putting on a show on a panel, and I agree with that, but this just comes across as, like, just being totally dismissive of, like, the matter at hand, Oh, hey, peace, guys, how's it going? I've got to be honest with you. I feel this is the only apology I'll ever issue. My sincere apologies for platforming known giga anti-white racist. I'm really important.
Sexual assaults happen to women, and there are guys who are sexually assaulted. We respect that. Do we have to recognize that right now while we're talking about women being sexually assaulted? I believe that if we address the issues that lead to women being sexually assaulted, guess what? Men won't be sexually assaulted as much as well. Isn't that crazy?
No. This is pure cope. This is total bullshit. I hate this idea that, like, oh, men have got problems. Well, let's do more feminism and that will fix men's issues, okay? Because the problem you've got is that the reason that, like, men's sexual assault isn't taken as seriously or has problems is not to do with women, the issues women face, okay? There's very different things happening there, right? So I really don't like this idea of, like, well, let's fix the issues with women's stuff and that will magically fix men's stuff too. That's just bullshit.
We deal with the actual problem, the meat of the problem, we will help everybody. That's why I said, who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares that white people are the victims?
So, for example, right, if we let's say that we fix that, okay, right? Okay. What about gay rape? What about that? What about it? Well, if you are trying to fix issues of rape through a lens of feminism, what does that do to fix the issue of gay rape? What has that got to do with a man deciding to rape another man? Well, it doesn't really, does it? In my mind, it doesn't.
Are you going to admit to the fact that the little Timmy Gestion was right?
Thanks for the bits. I'm not going to answer your question. Fuck you. Thanks for your money, motherfucker.
In terms of hate crimes, it's fine because...
But look, see, he takes it as, who cares that white people are the victims of hate crimes? It's such a victim mentality. That's what these guys on the right do. They have to find ways to become the victim. It's so funny to me, man. They can't stand focusing on anyone else's problems. They are so self-centered that they can't step away from that for one moment.
Because men are affected by the patriarchy as well, obviously. What the fuck has the patriarchy got to do with gay men raping another gay man or something?
And they have to be the victim. Have to be the victim.
It's happening.
Now, could I have worded it differently? Of course, but that wouldn't have got the attention that it got now. I don't plan this out. I don't script it out. But what I do when I go into these sort of debates with these rightoids or whatever, I go there to shock and awe. I'm like America going into Iraq on day one. I'm there to shock and awe, baby. Okay. And look, it had an impact.
Okay, we're getting back to base again.
This is how you get attention. This is how you make noise on the internet. This is Hassan saying America deserved 9/11. You have to do this shit. Hello. Welcome to making content. These people are so shocked. This is what the right does all day long. Marjorie Taylor talking about we need a national divorce. Donald Trump saying death penalty for drug dealers. This is what you do. You say more hyperbolic stuff. That's how you get attention. And the fact that this is just completely over the head of these right-wingers who engage in this crap all day long is hilarious to me. How do they not see this coming from a mile away? So baited. Absolutely baited. White people are the real victims in U.S. history. True.
Into a white person? Is this really your position?
Dude,
No,
what's the point you're trying to make? Just because white people are the victim
my
of hate
point is
crimes,
racism
suddenly
is
everything
bad.
you just throw it off.
Racism is
Yeah,
bad no matter
racism
who
is
it's
bad.
directed at.
Stupid,
Obviously,
man.
right?
This is
So
so
even the poll said like 70%.
I don't see anything wrong with anything I said there. I stand by every single thing I said there, as I showed you guys as I went through it. What did I say that's so wrong? Are people that mad? What? You don't think white people are the victim of racism? Of course there's racism against white people. It has nothing to do with the conversation, man. So pathetic, so fragile. I swear, my fellow whites are the most fragile people on earth. Snowflakes. White people, you need to man the fuck up. Quit acting with that bitch assness, man.
We misspoke.
That's why it gets me so worked up. It is such bitch assness to sit around and become the victim. Oh my God. And I get grief. I feel like I'm a leader of the white supremacists saying, young white men, have some self-respect, man. What is wrong with you? Are you a victim? Pathetic. Come on, man. Dear white people. Good Lord. And I'm the soy boy. These frail ass motherfuckers, man. God, my white people, you are embarrassing me right now, man.
Manillas.
Holy cow. Time to do
smear
some
on this?
push-ups, guys. Time to run around the block. Trying to man the fuck up. Jesus Christ. But I'm the victim. I saw videos online.
I've got to be honest.
Oh my God. These guys genuinely.
The problem with all of this is you could apply the same thing to black people that sometimes excessively complain about certain racism things happening, right? Like, you could apply it because there's obviously a lot of complaints about racism from certain groups, that is not necessarily justified or warranted based on the level of racism they receive. Do you know what I mean? So, I just think, give you an example. I mean, the people will sometimes excessively complain about racism. Black people will do this, right? When you say give an example, what do you mean by that?
Genuinely think that they're victims of hate crimes that haven't even happened to them, that happen to other people. They take on the burden. I must stand up for this random person in a video I saw. I have no idea what the context is or anything. So cringe, man. Okay, now let's laugh at all their comments, okay? Because this is hilarious. So look, this clown, racist ass clown, TreeOfLogic, has to respond to every single one of these comments. Talk about triggered. When I post something, I reply to nothing. You'll be lucky if I even like any of the comments, but the sign of a true loser is one that will go through their comments and reply to everything. Look what we got here. This same guy told at Friended Forever, which is Adam from Adam and Sitch, or Sitch and Adam, and Sitch, that he could move into South Central and live just fine. Again, this is...
Sure. Bruce Dropomoff has complained about racism because of his treatment by Twitch, right? There we go. Prime example.
I stand by this, okay? First of all, as somebody who's lived in pretty rough areas before, you become part of the community. If people know you live there, they're not gonna beat your ass every day, like on your way home from work. I used to walk around in a suit in my neighborhood because I worked at City Hall, and I lived in a pretty rough neighborhood in New York City about 14 years ago. And there were people throwing dice, people chilling on the stoop, and I was friendly with everybody, man. It was, I kid you not. But these people live in their own fantasy world where they've never experienced anything outside of their bubbles or whatever, have no idea what I've gone through or lived through or anything. And so in their mind, they could never live in a place like South Central. But anyways, this guy said, I told Adam and Sitch that I could move to South Central and live just fine. It's hyperbolic, number one, right? Like, obviously, there's some areas in the country that I'm not going to move to because I don't want to cause problems and I don't need to. But there's plenty of white people that live in rough areas that are just fine. They're part of the community. They get love. They're hanging out. They're good. It's no problem. It happens all the
Tell us about these areas. Tell us more about these areas, IRI.
The time. And so it's very
Thank
possible to do
you.
that.
Thank you for the feedback.
But I say stuff like that again when I'm on a panel or a talk because it gets attention. That's how you get attention. So look at her. She responds, "Are you serious? Why is it that when white racists like him say that, they don't live stream themselves to prove it? It's called virtue signaling. I these types of white people with passion." She said, "I hate these types of white people. I never talk about a group of people, even if it's a subset of it. Can you imagine if I said, I hate these types of black people? Can you imagine if I said something that..."
Yeah, that's true as well. So, he's saying it's just hyperbolic, but then he's also backing it up with his kind of anecdote. I guess, the kind of way to look at that is I think what he's saying is, on the panel, he's saying it in a hyperbolic way, but
I love
doesn't...
everyone trying to prove very wrong here going, nah. If you go to a black neighborhood you'll get beat up. Try IT. Try ITBRO.
Thank you for the bits. Appreciate it. I think he's saying, I'm not saying every single area would be safe, but there's some areas that you probably could move to and it would be fine, right? But I don't know, man. It's this is the problem is when you go on a panel and you play a character, it's great for me and it's great for the entertainment factor. But then you run the risk of getting clipped and then this drama happens,
that racist, people would lose their mind. I hate these type of Hispanic people. This racist ass bitch doesn't get any pushback and I get called racist? Are you kidding me? This is just crazy, man. And first of all, am I supposed to go live stream in the hood?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Right? Yeah. Yeah, it's like, if you want to experience what's being discussed, you have to go out of your way in order to experience it, right? Where, the premise or the idea that people are perpetuating is that a white person just walking down the street is going to be subjected to an anti-white racial attack, But yeah, I just think the basic point there is very simple, modern life, walking around in the majority of areas you walk around in, the likelihood of you getting violently attacked because of your race is low for everyone, right? We've reached a stage in society where the odds are very low of you being violently attacked based on your race, and that applies to every race.
Like Bruce Willis in Die Hard with the placard on my chest in order to prove that I can do it? How stupid. How stupid. Go live stream from the hood and prove it. Prove you can walk around. Come on now. Here we go. Next one.
Speak for yourself, Chud. Do you know what this reminds me of when rightoid whitoids complain about this, right? It reminds me of trans people that act like if they walk out of their door, they're going to get viciously attacked. It is the same sort of victim mentality that you see from them, right? Let me ask you a question, Akala. Where do you live? I mean, maybe you don't want to say or dock yourself or something, right? But where is it you live that you're genuinely concerned that if you walk out of your door and go into your community, you're going to be the victim of a white hate crime motivated violent attack? Where the fuck are you living? What planet are you on?
Tree, my self-hating, guilty, white liberal friends and family will not listen to me because I'm so white and privileged. I try to call out the lies, but because they worship money and positions of authority, and I have none, they also don't listen to me. I love this broke-ass loser is somehow saying I don't have my white privilege. You fucked that up. Nobody fucked it up for you. What did you do to fuck that up? Acid ascetic. Thank you for the 7 months. But I digress. She said, I get rid of them.
Wait, did you just say South Africa? You live in South Africa. We're talking about fucking America. Scott Adams' comments were about America. Sure, listen, I'll grant if you live in South Africa, sure, okay? You probably are at more risk of a violent crime. That's because South Africa's fucked. South Africa's got a lot of far more racial tension than the US has. Way more racial tension. But sure, I will grant, if you live in South Africa, the odds of you getting attacked because of your race are higher because you live in South Africa over America. Sure, I'll grant that, okay? It's not a walk back. This person's a retard for bringing up their experience when they live in South Africa when the conversation's about America. I honestly thought they were going to name some American state, but they live in fucking South Africa, of course. It's like saying, oh yeah, well, I've got a really high chance of like, being the victim of domestic violence. And I'm like, oh really? I don't think domestic violence is that bad in America. Where is it you actually live? Oh, like some country in Eastern Europe. Like, yeah, obviously the rates of domestic violence are higher there. But if you lived in a real country, yeah, obviously the chances of you getting attacked because you're a race are much lower. Parts of big cities where no matter where you live are dicey. Yeah, sure. The thing is, okay, but again, you're playing into the idea that you have to go to a certain area in order to experience this, okay? The average American or average person in like a Western nation, okay, right? Walking around, doing their daily business, the chances of any of them being the victim of violent racial hate attack are very low. Does anyone disagree with this? Does anyone think the average person that's walking around the streets of the UK or the streets of America or an actual civilized nation, right? Do you think there's a high chance that they're going to be a victim of a violent, brutal attack? You do think that? Okay, Naga, where are you? Where are you based? Where are you based? What country? Surrey. Okay.
Zero tolerance for any with that type of mindset. Wow. These are the same friends and family who want me to accept them back into my life after calling me on my B-day. Huh? What are you even going on about? Look at this. Replying to everybody. Everybody. This is how you know somebody is triggered. They are in the comments replying to everybody. Did he sleep through all of 2020? I know this clown and had to put him in his place for his hatred towards whites. He hates me now. Why is she standing up for white people? Why does she feel an obligation to stand up for white people? I'm white. I can speak on behalf of white people. You don't got to stand up for anybody. I'm white. I love it. You had to put me in my place? How did you put me in my place? You put me nowhere. I forgot you even existed. This has to be a crisis. Yeah, something is going on. This is a mental health crisis in the Twitter comments here. Look how upset she is. He should go live in.
Right, what's this? 2021 hate crime statistics. US Department of Justice. Okay. FBI releases 2021 hate crime statistics. $7,074 single bias incidents involved 8,753 victims. Offences by crime category. Among the 8,673 crimes reported, crimes against person was 66.7%. What is that? What's 66.7 of 8,673? What's that as a figure? Let's be real, okay? If you are looking at crimes against persons, which that's probably a percent. There's probably a percentage of that isn't even violent attacks, but a violent like assaults. But let's say we accept that 100% of the crimes against persons were violent assaults. That leaves us with, just over 5,000 violent racially based assaults that were reported at least, or dealt with by the FBI. If you, off the basis of that, are worried about like going out on your doorstep because you're worried you're going to be the victim of a violent attack, you're fucking brain dead. You are literally fucking brain dead. Like, you're no better than the people, like the minorities, like say trans people, that act like they're going to get hate crimed the moment they walk out the door. It's the same victimization mentality that you're engaging in. So yeah, there we go.
Crenshaw, says this guy, or Southside Chicago.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Salsa Sausage, you say they're not showing the real numbers. How many do you think there is? How far do you think they're off? How many actual hate crimes do you think are occurring in America then? Give me a figure. Give me a figure. 2 million. Okay. 2 million. Yeah. Okay. Good one. You think it's really out by that much? At least 30 million. This is the most brain dead analysis I've ever seen in my entire life.
She says, why I could. Why couldn't I? Why couldn't I? This one says, is that a Fetterman hoodie? Who would buy one of those? Oh, and by the way, there are white people living in all these areas. Every area they talk about, there's white people living there. Guaranteed. Southside Chicago, probably tons of white people living there. Potato Shrapnel, thank you for the gift sub. This one said, is that a Fetterman hoodie? Who would buy one of those? She replies, yes, which tell you all that you need to know about his IQ.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure if TreeOfLogic should be throwing stones in glass houses when it comes to IQ. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
What? Huh? John Fetterman won. He whooped Mehmet Oz's ass the night of the election. I think I know how to pick winners. They have an agenda tree. They all are also suffering from white guilt. Indeed, I'm suffering from white guilt. Let me tell you something. I'm proud to be white. I have no problem being white, okay? I love being white.
Wait, our Ross just turned a corner. What? What?
There's nothing of the election. I think I know how to pick winners. They have an agenda tree. They all are also suffering from white guilt. Indeed, I'm suffering from white guilt. Let me tell you something. I'm proud to be white. I have no problem being white, okay? I love being white. There's nothing wrong with being white. I have no guilt. None. I'm just trying to lift up everybody else, okay? It's that simple. I want people to have what I have. That's it.
All the racists that are super mad with IRI are suddenly like, hang on a second. Let's not be too hasty. Let's not be too hasty in cancelling this guy. Let him cook.
There's no guilt. I don't feel bad. Are you kidding me? I want other people to experience what I've experienced. There's no guilt. That's so cringe, man. Look at this. She keeps responding to every single comment. So pathetic, so desperate for people to agree with her. His wife's boyfriend is probably proud of him. LOL. It's funny because it's true. What? What?
He's getting called a cuck now.
I'm still going. I tried, but my white liberal friends and family shun me, lol. They live in la-la world. I'm glad you tried, though. You're better off without their shaming and virtue signaling. What? What am I virtue signaling? The whole point of me pushing back on Doobie in the clip is so he doesn't distract from the real issue with some anti-white racism that we don't need to talk about right now.
Okay. First of all, you can talk about multiple things at once. I don't like that. And the second thing is, right? Okay. Are there issues in America with like racism? Yeah, of course. But I've got to be honest with you, right? I've got to be honest with you. Racism has been solved in America. Racism has been solved in America, okay? Now, it's difficult to say it without making it sound like you're downplaying like what are genuine issues that exist. I just think that if you look at some of the complaints that are being made, and I think this is one of the issues that you're seeing, right? Is you are seeing progressives and, you know, sometimes certain like progressive, especially terminally online kind of black people, and they're complaining about totally insubstantial, ridiculous issues, right? That is the problem that I'm seeing, and it's probably why you're seeing this kind of swing back, is people are like, hang on a minute, like, it used to be that you complained about actual real stuff that was a problem. But now it seems like you're hyper-focused on the most irrelevant, stupid things that don't even matter, right? That I think is what is the problem. And this is the problem with this kind of line of argumentation, is that if it was, we're like, right, don't talk about anti-white racism, we need to talk about issues that are facing black people. And it was like all focused on real substantive issues and moving forward and trying to like help along those lines, yeah, that would probably be pretty fucking, I'd be like, yeah, sure, fair enough. But the issue that you've got is that it tends to then be focused on really stupid stuff. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the CRT stuff, and, you know, I've obviously spoken before about how effective the right are when it comes to the CRT thing and how ineffective, like, the Democrats have been with that whole narrative, right? I think the CRT stuff has been so stupid and damaging. And the progressive insistency on banging their head against a brick wall on the CRT shit is so fucking stupid. One of the biggest issues that I've had with it is that everything in it sounds like an attack. Everything in it sounds like a fucking attack. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, we've got white fragility, have you? And you look at what they're saying and it's like, you know, you are racist by default and you engaging in white supremacy. It's like, bro, of course people are going to feel attacked and feel fragile if all of the language that you're using is coming across as attacking them. You know, like, have a bit of fucking tact. Have a little bit of sense about how you're communicating these ideas. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. You know, and yeah, I just find it incredibly cringe. And I think that there probably are issues you could focus on and focus your efforts on. But it just gets wiped away looking into these really stupid sort of concepts and ideas.
There's a time and a place to talk about anti-white racism. You don't have to bring it up every time someone talks about racism.
And you know the biggest recent story that demonstrated the problems with that discourse and with that whole line of thinking? It was that guy that got beaten to death by those police officers. Because, you know, on like a purely academic level or like talking about it conceptually, I can kind of understand and follow along with some of the concepts of like, well, you know, this is a white supremacist structure or whatever fucking academic bullshit they want to say, right? But to a normie, right, they're looking at a bunch of black police officers beating a black man to death. And you're going, oh, that's white supremacy. And people are like, huh? What do you mean? They're black though. Nah, it's white supremacy, actually. That's what they were doing it. Obviously, people are going to be fucking bemused by that and they're not going to understand it. Right? And they're not going to understand it whatsoever. Like, what planet are you on if you think people are going to be able to grasp that concept? You know, it takes so much effort and time to lay out what you mean when you say that. Who says that? Is that a genuine question? Are you telling me you did not see people saying that the black police officers were engaging in white supremacy and the guy that died was a victim of white supremacy? If you didn't see it, fair enough, okay? But exactly, this is stuff that was in the mainstream media. This wasn't just some fucking Twitter person saying something. This was like mainstream media shit that was being perpetuated. So, you know, I think that's where you got to look at it and go, okay, maybe the kind of rhetoric we're engaging in, maybe it's not effective. Maybe we need to take a step back and just think, okay, let's approach this from a fresh angle, you know, rather than banging that drum of like, oh, it's this thing, which we've got to, you know, you've got to conceptualize these different academic contexts and lay it out in order to understand it, you know? Great for a Twitter post. Connected with normies, probably not going to be very good.
Next one said, Scott Adams deserves credit for daring to speak the truth. I don't give credit to cowards, and Scott Adams is a libtard coward who made it a point to tell Hotep Jesus that blacks are where they are today because of systemic racism. And
what is this? Obviously, I can't show the original due to its graphic nature.
An oppression. So Scott Adams, not even good enough. He's a libtard coward. The man said, get away from black people. They're a hate group. And she says he's a libtard coward. He's not even good enough. He's not even good enough. Too funny, man. Okay, looks like she gave up at that point. Now, other idiots found this as well. Wait, let me see the quote tweets. If anybody of value's in here. I don't think so.
Anyone of value?
Let's see. Okay, so she got the quartering's attention, which is just funny to me. This is all free advertising, right? This is great, man. This is fantastic free advertising for me. I can't pay for this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? There's no way I can generate interest like this, man. And this is just fantastic.
Who's that?
Okay, let me see. Maybe I just go to the quartering thing.
I mean, people are saying copium. He is right. You realize he is correct. If you say or do something controversial, this happens to me. People are going to talk about you and complain about you. It's like when people like share my thumbnails. People share my thumbnails and are like, oh my God, look how terrible this thumbnail is. Within that, and if that gets like, you know, thousands of impressions, there's going to be some people that are going to be like, oh, what's this about? And they're going to go and check it out, you know? So, yeah. There we go.
Let's see. Okay. So she wasn't done. It wasn't good enough, right? She was so mad that she went and posted another video about me, just in love with me. Listen, I'm not interested in you at TreeOfLogic. I'm not interested. You're not my type. I like intelligent women. You're not my type, okay?
Curious. When you say you like intelligent women and therefore not interested in TreeOfLogic, what did you mean by that?
I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you, but you're going to have to get out of love with me. I understand it. I look in the mirror, I see this, and I would be in love with me too. Trust. I get it. I know you're crushing hard, but it ain't going to work out, okay? I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but you got to get off. You got to get off my D, okay? You are riding me so hard right now. It's chafing, okay? I can't take this. Look at this. She's going on about white people some more. Racist ass TreeOfLogic going on about white people again here. She says, don't y'all love it when white people like ImReallyImportant can sit safely in their homes located in the lily white suburbs of LA and brag about how they could live in the hood without getting their ass beat? This fool thinks he's the... I'm not even going to say that. Well, actually, you guys can read it. He thinks he's the blank whisperer. You fill in the gap right there. He thinks he's the blank whisperer.
Curious. Very curious.
I dare him to live stream himself walking in the hood of South Central alone. Let's put his theory to a test. I've got to go live stream walking around a neighborhood I don't live in to prove to these people that I can be there. That's not what I said. I said live. If you live in a community.
Also, the other thing as well is like this idea that you have to live stream, like that involves walking around holding out expensive equipment, right? Like, you know, yes, if you walk around holding expensive equipment out on an extended arm, that's going to increase the chances of someone robbing you, certainly. You know? It's like when a woman goes out to a bar and, you know, she's wearing, you know... no, I'm just... that was a joke. That was a little joke there, okay?
They will accept you. Nobody's going to give you a hard time, beat your ass every single day because you live there. They're not going to start trouble with their own community.
Yeah, the other thing as well too is like, imagine, right, you're a white guy and you're walking around like a predominantly black neighborhood, like in the hood and filming everything, right? What are the people they're going to think you're doing? They're going to be like, hang on a minute. Why is there some white nerd walking around filming us? What's going on? Why is there a white nerd that looks like that dude from the Offspring video recording us at the moment? But, yeah, I don't know. I did see that, Captain Gwendolyn. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So, but anyways, I could go live stream in South Central, okay? I don't know if people realize this, but south of LA is still very expensive. So, I could. I'm not going to. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. In any case, why does she keep focused on me being
Thank
white?
you.
What does it
Appreciate
matter?
it.
White. She can't get over it. What is this clip? Let's see.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, this is from hanging out on Adam or Sitch and Adam the other day. She posted. So this is the second clip about me she posted. Absolutely in love with me.
Go ahead.
Well, I agree with that.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, people don't attack people in their own community.
Yeah, that's
This
true
is why you
too.
can live
Yeah.
in any. I could go live in South Central and in some, you know, in the middle of in the hood.
By the
I
way,
could live there, and people
On
would,
this note, guys, right, we've gotten absolutely loads of support today, and I really appreciate you. 6,000 bits, 43 subs. I'm absolutely stunned at the incredible support my very generous community has given me. But we can do better. All I need you to do is fill that final bar, okay? We need like 22 bucks. We'll reset the goals. I've got another few hours in me yet, right? I'm not done yet. We're going to finish covering this. We'll maybe find one other thing to talk about. I don't know what exactly. We'll figure it out, okay? We'll figure it out. So if you want to support me, give me cold, hard cash here. You can put whatever message you want in and troll me to your heart's content.
would be chill. It's like you get to know your neighbors. They see you. Like, people don't start trouble in their own neighborhood. That's why his whole point is just so cringe and hard to understand. Like,
I mean,
you can live anywhere.
It's
Maybe
true.
that's
People go
true.
to other
Well,
people's
wait,
neighborhood
wait.
to raise hell.
Wait,
That's
wait.
what happens.
What's this?
Last time, the link you idiots keep wanting Chud to look at is showing the rate of violent, not necessarily race-related, incidents against a race, per capita of the total prison population. It does not say that whites are more likely to be the victim of a racist attack.
Thank you for the bits, Akriel.
That's wonderful. But how do I make
Oh my
money
God.
off depressed people?
Reset time.
Malkaz, you absolute legend. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I think we looked. I think the crime stat. It was on the FBI page. Didn't we look at the breakdown of like what the race are of the victims? It was on the FBI crime page, wasn't it? And I don't think it was like particularly like it was probably a bit out of whack for. I'm pretty sure that like minorities were a bit overrepresented in the attacks or something like that, but I can't remember exactly.
Maybe wait.
I stand by this 100%. You go be part of someone's community, you will be accepted. That is racist to think that you can't go into some neighborhood
you,
like
Malkaz.
South Central
Appreciate you.
and become a part of it. There are white people that live in the hardest neighborhoods in America and are accepted with love because they're part of the community. There's nothing about their skin color. It's about being a part of the community. And you can get accepted in any community, man. This isn't prison where you have to take sides. These people live in some weird internet, Twitter world where their view of the world is so skewed and so fucked up that they think you can't go live in South Central if you're white. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think this differentiation on the basis of race, for me, it's very simple, right? If you live in an area that's got higher crime, the chances are you're going to be the victim of crime at a higher rate. This is reflected in insurance as well, right? If you go to basically, I can't remember the exact details, but there are like maps that like insurance companies have got that track incidences of crime. And if your property is in a certain area that has higher incidences of crime, you pay a higher insurance premium. I presume this is the same in America as well, right? Okay. Now, where the crossover comes, okay, is that the reason, and this is where this is the important thing that is missing from this conversation, okay? It is true, right, that there's more poor areas that are more black, okay? Okay? And what the crossover happens there is that there's more areas that are high in crime that are likely to have a higher percentage of black people in. Why is that though, right? Do you think it is A, that black people are fundamentally, on the basis of their race, more likely to commit crime? Or B, and this is what I believe, it's the idea that black people, due to their socioeconomic circumstances and history, are put in circumstances where they're more likely to commit crime, right? That's what it comes down to, and that's the important thing to differentiate, you know? But that's the other thing as well, is if you're black and you move into an area with a higher rate of crime, you're also more likely to have crime committed against you. It's not like a criminal is going to come up to... Let's say that you're walking down the street, right? Let's say that you're walking down the street. A black criminal comes up to you and they don't see your race because you've got like a hat and a coat on, right? They get a knife out and they're like, I don't want to do the voice. Hey man, give me your wallet. Stack on a cap for real. Give me your wallet now. And they turn around and it turns out they're black. And he's like, oh, sorry, brother. I didn't realize that you were black. I meant to rob a white person. See you later. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna be like, okay, oh damn, I got this wrong. I thought you were white. Sorry. They're gonna rob you anyway because they're a fucking criminal. They're not doing crime on the basis of what your race is. They're doing crime because they in that position for, you know, whatever reason, like socioeconomic, etc. Right? So that's the issue. That's the real issue with this, right? It doesn't matter what your race is when it comes to being the victim of crime. If you're in a high crime area, regardless of what your race is, you're more likely to have crime perpetuated against you. Nothing to do with race in that situation.
But also, she has no idea where I live. She has no idea. She said I'm sitting safely in my home located in a white suburb of LA. No idea where I live, right? Just generalizing about me, which is standard, right?
No,
it is what it is. But here she is. She's got to reply to every comment. Once again, the sign of a true loser, going through your comments on Twitter and replying to every single one. I say we ask him to do just that, and we start a GoFundMe to pay for his move, and he can stream daily from South Central, and we'll see how long that lasts. I bet you, I think these people would be shocked if I moved to South Central and how much I got along with the community. They would be shocked. It's not that hard. She said, he doesn't need any GoFundMe money. He's rich. I'm rich, guys. Did you know that? Did you guys know I'm rich? That's news to me. He's also getting a huge royalty check for being in this video. Not joking, by the way. So he don't need any charity funds. I don't know if this dumb bitch understands how music videos work, but it's non-union. I got $500 for doing that video in 1998, you moron. Music videos don't pay royalties. You don't know jack shit about this industry. Hilarious. I wish I would have got a check.
I mean, yeah, I presume that IRI was probably like a young jobbing actor doing that and wasn't able to, like, I mean, if he'd have, you know, if he was someone who wanted a deal where he got royalties, they probably just found someone else to do it because they're trying to make it on the cheap, right?
Dumb, racist ass TreeOfLogic, don't know shit. Embarrassing.
No, that is him. That is IRI. He used to be an actor. That's why, you know, he's like an LA guy. He used to be an actor. That's actually him in the video. Yeah, did you not know that? That's really him.
What's up, Chud? Yeah, I'm trashing your Nubian queen, TreeOfLogic. She sucks, dude.
Oh, yeah, I went into his chat. Whilst he was streaming. And yeah, I said, well, I'll show you here. Yeah, let me do that. I said up here, I heard you were speaking out about my Nubian queen, TreeOfLogic. And then down here I said, call her the slur. Well, yep, there we go. Anyway, moving on.
She sucks. You know it, and I know it. I don't know why anybody stands this moron. Look at her. Everything she just wrote here makes no sense. I'm rich. I'm getting royalty checks. So stupid, man. This is the generalization. This is what a racist person does. They generalize. They assume, right? She has no reason to think any of this stuff. I don't post anything on Instagram showing me balling. I'm not showing me in some Mercedes Benz. I've never shown anything to imply that I'm rich. I've never talked about being rich. I never talk about money, nothing. I've never, ever discussed being rich or anything like that. But she's assuming that, right? I could be living in the hood right now. I could be living in the projects right now. Nobody has any clue. No clue. Why would she assume these things about me? I wonder. I wonder. And look at this. Look whose attention we got. The quartering. This is fantastic. I'm telling you. You get on these guys' radars, whoo, you can pop off. I tell you, this is my little version of Hassan's America Deserved 9/11 right here. It really is, because these clowns are so triggered that they cannot resist responding. I think that's a gift, man. People will shake their head at what I said. It's a gift to be able to trigger people. Not everybody can do it. I love it. Dave, thank you for the gift sub. So the quartering said, has this motherfucker ever turned on a TV or opened Twitter? Hell, has he ever seen old reruns of Cops? This is exactly what I'm talking about. This guy proved my point.
Oh my God. The quartering is a fucking moron. Jesus Christ. You don't think this is real? Go and watch Cops, as if Cops doesn't select for like the worst examples of crime that you're going to see. Like, it's Cops, for fuck's sake. What do you think you're going to see if you watch Cops? Oh, I'm just tuning into Cops. I doubt I'll see any violent crime today. It's probably just going to be them rescuing cats from trees and shit like that, right? Do you not think that there's like a spate and a vicious rise in like black on white crime? I tell you what, you need to go and look at the last 20 tweets of this account I follow, Race and Consciousness, because they've just tweeted out a bunch of videos of white people getting attacked. You got to see it. It's wild.
This guy is telling me that his worldview is based off TV and Twitter and old episodes of Cops. That's how he determines how a whole race of people will react to a white person, based off Twitter and television. That's everything I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, you don't think terrorism's on the rise? There's this TV show called 24. You should watch it. Basically, it's everywhere. I've watched it a bunch of times, and it's crazy.
I can't believe he just wrote that out. Yeah, it's a self-report. Dude, you're telling me that you are generalizing. You're coming to a conclusion based off what you see on Twitter and television, especially Cops. Wow. This is everything I'm talking about right here. This is Scott Adams, and it just shows you how big of a clown these people are. I couldn't imagine drawing a conclusion based off Twitter clips. This is what the whole Section 230 Google Gonzalez versus Google case was about 2 weeks ago, which we heard in the Supreme Court. It's about these algorithms. Is that considered part of the curation, part of publishing in order?
Wait. Have you... Was this one you had already? Did you make this before? Well, you got so many of these. What if you got one of me as Jack Bauer? That's me. I'm actually on. I'm citing down. I'm looking down the site at a brown terrorist. Well, I don't know for sure they're a terrorist, but they are an Arab, so, you know, I'm coming to some conclusions off the back of that.
Pushing things on you to convince you of something, right? Here's another video of a black person beating up a white guy. Here's another black person being arrested for something. Here's another black person punching an old white lady on the street. Well, you see it every single day. You're going to start to think that's real. You start to think that's a huge problem, right? Too funny.
A taste of American
policing. Says he's a virtues signaling lefty from Twitch. Check out his latest take that I called him out for. And it's the one we watched everywhere.
He got shot on the 8 times. Yeah, basically, because bear in mind, this wasn't like normal police. It was like special forces operatives that were operating as like, I don't know what the right term for it is. But the kind of operating procedure was that because they thought he had a bomb. That was another thing as well. They lied about him, what coat he had on. They said he had like a really puffy coat on that he could have been hiding a bomb under. But that wasn't true either. He was just wearing a normal coat. But the idea was he was like a terrorist who would have like one of those harnesses on that he could do one of those on. So the idea is you take them out as cleanly and quickly as possible so that they don't have the chance to operate whatever the explosive detonator is. So it's like, boom, 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 boom. Just take him out straight away. We should watch a video about it sometime.
She even called poor Adam stupid right here.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Damn.
John Charles de Menezes, that's him.
Let's see. This quartering guy quote tweeted this as well. Yeah, I agree, Ratchet. We have no idea what timeline these clips are from. You know what I mean? We have no idea where they took place or what year they took place. None of that, right? And so they put them out every single day, and it's like, look at this. White people are just being attacked. Innocent white people in the streets every single day. These could be clips from 5 years ago. Could be clips from other countries. Nobody has any clue. And these morons are falling for it. And it's the same thing with Libs of TikTok, vilifying trans people by showing drag shows and some weird teacher in some random town and make it seem like this is happening everywhere. We need to totally do something about it.
I think the thing is here's the thing I think about it, right? It's okay to be nuanced and like talk about the actual rate at which it's happening and, you know, like how social media perpetuates these impressions, right? Wait, what? Officers claimed that Menezes' behavior appeared suspicious. They later stated they were satisfied they had the correct man, noting he had Mongolian eyes. We've got to watch a video about this. I know I'm laughing about it. You know, I was obviously at the time very like anti kind of government kind of mentality and shit. I still somewhat am, I guess. But I was like shocked by it. I was like, oh my God, I was like devastated by it, you know? But it is just, looking back is kind of funny to think that just how, this was just a random dude. It wasn't even fucking anything to do with terrorism. Anyway, look, you've got to denounce it. That's my take on this. This is where progressives get it wrong, okay? This is where progressives get it wrong. You got to denounce it, right? You see a fucked up clip of something, okay? And it's like some weirdo dancing half naked in front of kids. Yeah, that's fucked up and they shouldn't be doing that. I totally disagree with that, right? That's the first point of call. Then, when you actually talk about what should happen, that's when you can talk, you know, that's when you can talk about the nuances and when you can talk about, well, what's the rate that is actually happening? How much of a problem is this, you know? What's the actual ideas on how we fix this? Because if they start suggesting, you know, insane proposals on how we deal with this, well, that's where the disagreement lies, you know? But I think you've got to try and break bread on the shared understanding that this is wrong and it shouldn't be happening, you know? And I appreciate IRI was obviously being hyperbolic for the panel and shit, but I think at its core, you always have to get that sort of like, well, it's wrong and I disagree with it and I'm with you on that, you know? Let's talk about what is the actual thing, the nature, how much is it happening, and what steps do we need to take to rectify it, right? That's the key. That's what progressives get really wrong on this issue, I think.
Of course, this sick guy is in love with TreeOfLogic. That's hilarious. This is the same guy that said liberals are responsible if there's mass shootings by right-wingers because we won't listen to how angry they are. I'm going to be blamed for making fun of right-wingers when they do a mass shooting. That's hilarious, dude. Are you kidding me? That's blaming a woman for wearing a short skirt and getting raped. That's the level this guy's at. Sick unchanged. What a brilliant.
Stick is getting roasted.
Mind. But where's the quartering quote tweet? Oh, this Dick Masterson guy. I got his attention now too. Isn't this guy some big right winger?
By the way, have you seen this? What is this? Some of these are ridiculous. The biggest mistake that I made in all of this discourse, right? The biggest mistake that I made is, and this is, to be honest with you, this is probably from that thing that happens where, you know, when something gets like cancelled, right? The righties have to pretend to love it, don't they? They have to pretend that it's like this massive thing. Oh my God, they're not cancelling the Dilbert guy, are they? Oh, I bloody love Dilbert. And it's like, do you? I thought Dilbert was a beloved comic strip because of like the reaction and the discussion around it. But it's like, it's not really, is it? It's a bit like, it's just something of nothing. Not Dilbert. No, that's my favorite. It's pretty big. Is it beloved? Is it like something that people really love and are like, oh, I can't wait to pick up the newspaper and see what the latest Dilbert is. Oh my goodness. It just sounds like absolute cope.
Hosted the Dick Show. Isn't this one of the guys like Stardust fucks with? That whole crowd. I don't want anything to do with those guys, man. It's funny. This whole side of the internet is they just have a bunch of rough characters.
Oh, Supreme, you're reading about the case. Did you not see that? Have you not heard of that before? Yeah, you probably would be interested in it, actually, from your background. Obviously, there was like miscommunications and like intelligence failures and stuff. You should have a look at it.
Bunch of riffraff, I call it.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's pretty big over here.
Killstream ex-host. That's funny. Okay, where is the Quarterings post on it, though? Let's see. Let's see. Oh, we got old Nuance Bro back in the mix. Remember Nuance Bro? I talked to him for a while. It's like, oh, you're racist. I'm done with you. Nuance Bro is back in the mix. Oh, here it is. Okay. So he said, people don't, the quartering's huge. This is one of the most brilliant minds over on the right. The Quartering with his 268,000 followers. People don't attack people in their own community. That's what he's focusing on. Just might be the dumbest shit anyone has ever said in the history of the planet.
Yeah, I don't think Dick Masterson wasn't a Killstream host, I don't think. I know of Dick Masterson. You know, he seems like a pretty fun guy. But I don't know, yeah.
I don't, with his 268,000. So he said, he said, people don't, the quartering's huge. This is one of the most brilliant minds over on the right. The Quartering with his 268,000 followers. People don't attack people in their own community. That's what he's focusing on. Just might be the dumbest shit anyone has ever said in the history of the planet. I don't know who ImReallyImportant YouTuber is, but I assume he lives in a super upper class suburb. What? Man, this is the best these guys can do. It's embarrassing, man. People do not shit where they eat, man. If you're part of a community, they're not gonna do things in their own community, man. How hard is this to understand? Now somebody posted, I think.
Sorry, I'm just looking through spicy chat because someone atted me. I don't know what this is.
I think it was Adam from Sitch and Adam. He's like, actually, I talked to a criminal psychologist and he said most crimes are committed in people's communities. Yeah, I imagine that's crimes of passion. That's people getting into fights with people that they know. That's people committing crimes with partners. I don't know. But the idea that strangers will get attacked in communities they don't belong in because they just happen to be walking around and it's unsafe, I think that is just an unfortunate way of thinking, man. Look at all these losers coming in here, man. I'm ignoring anybody who's pushing back. It's so cringe. You guys have not said anything I haven't heard 100 million times, dude. It's so cringe. You guys are so triggered. You'd say that we on the left get triggered. You guys are such snowflakes, man. If people do not accept your weird view of the world that white people will just get killed and beat up in any neighborhood they don't belong to, you guys need to get a life, man. Please go outside.
No, so came out.
These people have no idea where I've lived. They have no idea what my life experience is like. They're just assuming so much about me, which is cringe. Why would you do that? Mod's going to be working today. I told them that there would probably be a bunch of weirdos coming in here. Too funny. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. What more can I say? What more can I say? You know?
Indeed.
IRI were in a music video. Yes, I was. I was not given anything. My parents did not pay for college. I did it all myself. I don't have family in Hollywood. I created everything myself. These people have no idea. You might be the way you talk. Dude, I already...
Are you proud of being white or are you ashamed? I think that anyone that takes a sense of pride in something that happened at their birth or something, I just think that's fundamentally cringe, and I don't really buy into it at all. Including minorities. I include minorities in that as well. It's not just white people I think that about. Minorities too. Like, you were born that way. Why are you taking pride in something that you had no... Like, take pride in an achievement, something that you've done, you know? Are you proud to be English? Well, it's the same thing. You know, I just was born in England, right? I wasn't like through the pursuit of like some greater thing that I was having. It's just pure chance, you know? I'm proud of things in my life that I've achieved or done or created or whatever, but not like, oh, you happen to form consciousness in this baby, in this body, in this fucking hospital, which happened to be located in this country. So what? You know? I really disagree with this idea of pride on the basis of your like immutable characteristics or whatever, right? I mean, I guess I could understand like using it as a tool or something maybe, but you know, anyone that genuinely is proud of something which they had no control over is fucking retarded.
I talked about living in a rough area, man. You have no idea, dude. I lived in an area where people chilling on the stoop, drinking, throwing dice. You have no idea, dude. You have no idea. You missed Bryson Gray, the rapper. I don't think he really weighed in much on it, did he? Let's see.
What's he doing now?
What did he say? Do you have a link to it? I don't really care to look through. Chilling on the stoop. Fake ass. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Damn, now I want to watch RSBN.
Anyway, is that it? Are we done?
I know what to tell you. Read your Bible.
I've always seen this name in chat. Fendi Floyd. I see you in my chat from time to time. What do you... That's a very curious name. What do you mean by that? Oh, hey, Stardust. How's it going?
Fuck the Bible, man. If I want to read some fiction, I'm going to go get something that's newer and more interesting. A little sexier. I don't need to read about two brothers killing themselves and living to be 800 years old. I don't need that.
Oh, hey. Psycho Kage.
We are well fed on IRI drama this week. Yes, sir.
Oh, you're not sure?
Oh, okay.
Not sure
this
what
is
we're talking
Bryson.
about. Interested.
Nah, it's objectively true. To accept your premise, then black people are being attacked by whites. Yeah, see, I don't even know what he's saying here. Real Bryson Gray says white people are not being attacked by blacks, and it's just objectively wrong. Nah, it's objectively true. I don't even understand what they're saying here. I don't even understand.
I think that's it anyway, isn't it?
Objectively wrong. He's saying it's... I really cannot follow what these...
He's just exerting his dominance over black people's intellect now.
Idiots are saying. You might be done some bad things. I think you might be going downstairs, homie.
Racist.
I think you might be... you might want to wear shorts and a tank because it might get weak people...
Anyway, yeah, I think I'm done with this. Anyway, there we go.
Double shine. What's up, man?
There we go. There's the drama covered. There's the IRI drama for you. Thank you very much, Psycho Kage. Thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate you. Nice skip. We're circling the drain of this drama, that's all. And I want to kind of talk about some other stuff. Anyway, there we go. Look, obviously I've got some disagreements with RI's rhetoric and perspectives. It was kind of Giga Chad and funny, though. You do need to spice it up on a panel. But if he wants to win hearts and minds, obviously that's not the way to do it. And I think there were some things in there that I disagreed with, but there we go. It was good content. Are you going to cover Lav drama? I've already done that. I covered it for like, what, 4 hours today? Like, what more do you want from me?